Town meeting season got off to an earlier than usual start this year, with the Taconic and Green Regional School District holding its annual floor meeting at the Manchester Elementary Middle School on Tuesday, February 26th. The meeting was a fairly quiet affair until the other business section of the agenda was reached. That prompted several members of the audience to express concerns about a plan to restructure the pre-kindergarten program at MEMS from a 5-day-a-week program down to one that might meet twice a week or maybe 4 days a week. The idea was to make pre-kindergarten services more widely available across the school district, but some of the parents and grandparents were unhappy about the prospect of a reduction in the number of days that the program would be offered.
The parents would rather have a 5-day-a-week, full-day program by lottery to everybody in all of the merger towns than the system that's been identified right now, or the program that's being suggested right now, with this piecemeal 4-day-a-week or 2-day-a-week program. Because if equity is the reason behind this, some students getting 2 days a week that is intellectually dishonest to say that this is an equitable solution to a problem that plagues us all.
Voters from Manchester returned to the gym at MEMS on the following Saturday, March 2nd, for the municipal floor portion of their town meeting. There was some discussion about the appropriation for $50,000 for the Manchester Business Association, which plans to use the money to promote local businesses and economic activity in Manchester.
First off, I want to thank everyone for giving us the opportunity to be on the articles and requesting again this year a $50,000 matching support from the town. And when I say matching, our organization through its membership and donation will raise the equal or more $50,000 in order to receive the funds from the town. We continue to promote the town, and our main objective is to increase the number of visitors to our town, to make purchases in our stores, buy homes, rent hotel rooms, and eat food at our restaurants.
We are being asked for the second year in a row to appropriate $50,000 to fund a business promotion organization that can easily afford on its own, through its members, to fund itself, that has no metrics to determine what, if any, tangible public benefit is realized through the expense of $50,000 in public funds.
In the end, the measure was approved on a close voice vote. Before that, voters also had approved the basic town budget, which came to just under $5 million without the additional warrant articles, like the NBA's request, which added to the total spending. Concerns were voiced that the fire department needed to be fully funded. A non-binding advisory vote urged the Select Board to adopt an ordinance to prohibit the use of plastic bags, which are generally used only once and then thrown away. Several other towns around the state are also exploring this as well.
Since we last spoke to the Manchester Select Board, many towns in Vermont have either proposed or passed a ban on thin film, single-use plastic bags. Brattleboro banned these bags this summer. This makes stores and places to eat use only reusable bags, compostable plastic bags, or paper bags. Wilmington will begin a ban this July with full support in their vote. Montpelier passed a ban this winter. Bennington and Middlebury have proposed to ban these plastic bags. Burlington has also proposed a policy that would not only ban these bags, but plastic straws, stirrers, and styrofoam food containers too. Why haven't we done anything yet?
Floor meetings kicked in across the Northshire in several towns on Monday night, March 4th. In Arlington, an anticipated discussion took place over an article to create a new position of town administrator to help the Select Board manage the town's affairs. The Select Board sees this as a part-time position that would start early next year. The Arlington Area Renewal Project, a local citizens group formed in 2017 to help bring some improvements to the community, lobbied hard for creating the position. The wording of it on the town warning only established the position and leaves it up to the Select Board and the citizens to flesh it out. Todd Wilkins, a school director and a member of the Arlington Area Renewal Project, gave us his takeaway and noted he thought it should be a full-time position.
Yes, as we started doing the study, we initially thought part-time, but as we really dug into it, we quickly learned that this is really a job for a full-time person. There's a lot to be done. We want to raise the bar in our community, improve our community, and that's going to take someone with a good expertise, a lot of time to get done. A part-time position, someone can manage to maintain the town the way it is right now, but we're looking for someone that's going to seek out opportunities to improve our community for our community members.
Their group had held 3 informational meetings leading up to the vote to discuss the issue. And in the voting on Tuesday, March 5th, Arlington residents did vote overwhelmingly to approve the position by a 391 to 114 margin. On the school side, board members reviewed the events of the past year, highlighted by Arlington being assigned to the Southwest Vermont Supervisory Union, ending a long-running debate over whether the school district would remain independent or be folded into one of the 2 neighboring supervisory unions. The other initiative now gathering steam is a drive to boost enrollment, which has drifted down to about 400 students from pre-kindergarten through 12th grade. The board and administrators hope to find 10 additional students to fill out their ranks and keep going from there. All the school districts surrounding them could send their students to Arlington, said Battenkill Valley's Supervisory Union Superintendent William Basic, and the time had arrived to begin recruiting more student prospects, he said.
I just don't think people know our story, and people don't know that you can come to Arlington as a school choice student at no cost. A lot of times we just associate the independent schools with school choice, particularly some of the bigger ones, the Burn Academy, Long Trail, or SMS. But all students within the BRSU, grades 9 through 12, have school choice, whether it's public or private. So any student within the T&G or Rupert and Paulet can now come to Arlington at no cost.
On Tuesday morning, voters in Wynne Hall arrived at the Mountain School there to hold their traditional floor meeting, where all the voting is done either off the floor or during the day. The mood of the meeting was sharply different from last year, when the town was facing a dramatic tax increase on educational spending, as more students than expected were enrolled in the district. The student count has eased off a little bit this year, giving the Wynne Hall School Board the space to get their budget down by more than 15% to about $3.4 million. This also helped push the tax rate down by 40 cents, from about $2.12 per $100 last year to $1.72 this year. School Board Chairwoman Jennifer Samuelson gave us her assessment.
Yeah, we were definitely pleased with where the tax rate ended up this year compared to last year. It was definitely a different tenor to our meeting this year. And the school board has worked really, really hard. I think the 3 of us form a great group anchored by the BRSU, and we've really tried to tackle the tax rate from a number of different angles. Our work is not done yet, but I think we ended up in a really good space this year.
Meanwhile, in neighboring Londonderry, voters there met for nearly 4 hours in their traditional floor meeting, according to a report in the Manchester Journal. They reduced expenditures for the state police coverage from $40,000 a year to $15,000, based to a degree on the number of officers the Westminster State Police Barracks have available. They also got into a conversation about whether to cut $1,200 from an appropriation to the Greater Northshire Access TV station, before approving the $2,000 GNAT had originally asked for.
This is a fairly simple concept. My amendment is to change the amount for GNAT from $2,000 to $800 based on the following. Manchester has a population 2.5 times ours. Or to rephrase it, we have 40% of the population of Manchester. GNAT has asked Manchester for $2,000 for their meeting. They're asking us for the same amount. It occurs to me that in effect, if we give them $2,000, we are paying 2.5 times per capita that Manchester does.
There's a little misconception about this formula. We actually serve about 13 different towns. And the reason why we're charging each town the same amount of money is $2,000, and we're just spreading it out. But basically, each town has their own, you do the same amount of meetings. We don't do that many more meetings in Manchester than we do up here, or in Arlington, or anywhere else. So it's really not correct what you're thinking, that it's just Manchester we're serving. We're serving all the communities. And actually, I think when it comes down to it, it costs us about $175 to go out and do a meeting like this, or a select board meeting. And last year we did, within the area, 191 of those meetings.
Elsewhere, voters in Dorset elected Jim Salzgiver, currently a member of the Taconic and Green Board, to the town's select board, defeating incumbent Jack Stannard. Otherwise, voters approved the town's budget and all other articles passed. And voters also approved the proposed Taconic and Green Regional School District budget during voting on Tuesday, along with all the other articles on the district's warning. 3 incumbent school directors who are running for re-election did so successfully, and they will be joined by newcomer Rachel Strecker, who ran and won as a write-in candidate. Voters in Manchester also elected Todd Nebraska to a 3-year term on the Select Board as a write-in candidate. And finally, in Sunderland, voters had to fill 3 vacant Select Board seats. Connor Stewart and Richard Zenz won as write-ins, with a 3rd position waiting to be filled by an appointment by the Select Board. For the GNAT-TV News Project, I'm Andrew McKeever.